Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to part 36 of where I show all my vinyl albums. Now today's video is on Queen, ELO and Elton John. So there's quite a few here, so we'll get on with it, and we're starting off with Elton John. And the first one up is Empty Sky, his debut album from 1969, and it's not a bad album at all. It has got the original version of Skyline Pigeon off this, but it's on harpsichord rather than piano. I do prefer the piano version, but you do get other really nice songs like The Scaffold, Lady What's Tomorrow, and especially the title track Empty Sky. It's a decent album, decent debut. Then Elton John, the self-titled album with Your Song, Border Song, The Greatest Discovery, I Need You to Turn To, Take Me to the Pilot. Very, very good album. This is a fan's favourite, Tumbleweed Connection, and I do really like this album, but it took me so long to get into it. Ballad of a Well-Known Gun is excellent, as is My Father's Gun. Son of My Father, or Your Father, sorry, I always get that mixed up with a Chicory Tip song. Son of Your Father is one of my favourite tracks of it, a lot of really good horns, and it's a really nice version of Leslie Dunkman's love song. 11-17-70. This is actually the American version of 17-11-70, because the Americans put the month before the day, and it's a live album and it's not bad. This was actually reissued in Record Store Day as a double set, which I still wouldn't mind getting, but it's too dear. But still, it's not bad. Madman Across the Water, very, very good album with Tiny Dancer and Leave On, and my favourites are Holiday Inn, All the Nasties, Rotten Peaches, as well, of course, Tiny Dancer. Friends, which is the soundtrack to a film that I've never seen, and the two main tracks off this here are Michelle's song and Friends, and Can I Put You On this as well, but an awful lot of sort of incidental music. It's okay, it's not brilliant. Honky Chateau, brilliant album with Rocket Man, one of his finest tracks ever. Honky Cat I absolutely love. I think I'm Going to Kill Myself is great as well. Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatter's is fantastic track, one of his best ever LP tracks, and I really do love Amy as well. So this actually is a double set. I do have another version, but it's in the To Get Rid Of box. And this here is a double set as well. It's a Record Store Day from, I think it's 2023. It's got Daniel, Crocodile Rock, Elderberry Wine, High Flying Bird, Texan Love Song, I'm Going to Be a Teenage Idol, about Mark Bowl. Very, very good album, #1 album. And then Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and this is his best album. It's absolutely fantastic, with Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding, Candle in the Wind, the title track Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting, Sweet Painted Lady. Brilliant album. Caribou, one of my favourites with The Bitches Back, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. I've Seen the Saucers is excellent, but the best track off this is Ticking, the very last track on side 2. And I've also got the double version. It's this year's Record Store Day release, and there's some really good tracks on the second disc, the highlight being Ducktail Jiver, which I've never heard before, and I love Cold Highway, which was the B-side of The Bitches Back. Elton John's Greatest Hits, absolutely brilliant. Now this is the UK edition. It's got Candle in the Wind on it instead of Benny and the Jets. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, another fantastic album with Someone Saved My Life Tonight, the title track We All Fall in Love Sometimes, Going Into Curtains, Better Off Dead, Tower of Babel, absolutely fantastic album. Rock of the Westies, and this is pretty good. It takes a bit of getting used to. It's completely different. It is his most rocking album, but I do like the medley at the start of Yell Help, Wednesday Night and Ugly. The hit single off this was Island Girl, which is fine, but probably the best track is I Feel Like a Bullet in the Gun of Robert Ford, the only real ballad on the album. Elton John Here and There, which is a good live album. The first disc is live in London and the second is live in New York. The CD of this is better because it's massively expanded. Blue Moves from 1976, which includes Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word, as well as Tonight, Chameleon, beautiful song with Beach Boys. A couple of the Beach Boys is backing. I think he actually offered that to the Beach Boys, but they didn't take it. Crazy Water, another great track, and Bite Your Lip, Get Up and Dance, which is great fun. Greatest Hits Volume 2, and yeah, this is nearly as good as Volume 1. With The Bitches Back, Lucy in Sky with Diamonds, Sorry, Don't Go Breaking My Heart, Someone Saved My Life Tonight, Philadelphia Freedom, the non-album track, Island Girl, Gruesome Funky Your Own, Benny and the Jets, and Pinball Wizard. I don't like the cover of that though. And the complete Tom Bell sessions, which is very good. And this includes Mama Can't Buy You Love, which was a big hit in America. It also has Are You Ready for Love, which was a minor hit here until 2003, I think it was, and then it got to #1. And also Shine On Through, which was to feature on Single Man. And talking of a single man, very, very good album, but this time it's Gary Osborne that's doing the lyrics and not Bernie Taupin. Shine On Through, Return to Paradise are brilliant, as is Part-Time Love, Georgia, and Song for Guy. Oh, and now have Victim of Love, which is his misstep. It's the disco album. It has nothing to do with this really, apart from singing. But there's one good song off it, the title track, but the rest is garbage. 21 at 33, and yeah, not a bad album with Little Genie on it and Sartorial Eloquence. Chasing the Crown's not bad. I also really like the track Dear God. Decent album. And Bernie Taupin's back for a couple of the songs. And likewise with this, The Fox. And this is a really good album with Just Like Belgium, Nobody Wins, Heels of the Wind, and The Gorgeous Chloe. The title track's probably the best track off it. And then we have Jump Up, dreadful, dreadful cover. But side 2 of this is very good with Empty Garden. Princess is okay, Where Have All Good Times Gone is very good, and All Quiet in the Western Front is excellent. The big hit in the UK, and this was Blue Eyes. I think the big one in America was Empty Garden, which is the better song. And Too Low for Zero, and this was his big hit from 1983 with I'm Still Standing. I guess that's why they call it the blues. Coldest Christmas, Kiss the Bride, Religion, decent enough. As is Breaking Hearts, and the two big hits off this were Passengers, which is silly but I do like it, and Sad Song Say So Much. But I really like the track Who Wears These Shoes. I think it's got a real Motown feel to it. Ice on Fire, absolutely dreadful album with an absolutely brilliant single, Nikita. The rest of it's not up to much. Well, I'm being a little bit harsh. This Town's not bad, as is Cry to Heaven, but it's not very good, to be honest. And neither is this Leather Jackets from '86. And the singles were Slow Rivers with Cliff Richard's awful, Heartache All Over the World, which is not very good. But it does have a couple of decent songs like I Fall Apart and Hit with Fire. And then we have Elton live in Australia with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. And this is actually quite good. It's got some of the very old tracks like I Need You to Turn To, The Greatest Discovery, and 60 Years On, The King Must Die, Take Me to the Pilot, Tiny Dancer, Madman Across the Water. It is pretty decent, but his voice was about to go around this time. Rage Strikes Back, not a brilliant album at all, and highlights are Japanese Hands and I Don't Want to Go On With You Like That, and A Word in Spanish is not bad either. Sleeping with the Past, which didn't do too well when it first came out, and the two singles did nothing either, Sacrifice and Healing Hands, but then they were reissued in the UK as a double A side and got to #1, and then this album followed it at #1. But it's not a bad album. Sacrifice is the best track off it. Elton John, The One, and this is not bad either. I actually really like this. I love the 3 singles, Simple Life, the title track, and Runaway Train. The rest of it's not quite as good, but it's still a pretty good album, and it's better than those mid-80s ones. Made in England, and this is from about 1995, and it's decent. The singles Believe and Made in England are fine, but the best 2 tracks off this were not singles, and they are Latitude and Man, really good tracks. The Big Picture, which gets slated quite a bit, but I actually quite like this. It's got Live Like Horses on it, the studio version. The live version that he did with Pavarotti was the one that was a hit single, but I think this is actually very good. Recover Your Soul I absolutely love, and I do like Something About the Way You Look Tonight, which was a double A side with Candle in the Wind '97, the one for Princess Diana. Peachtree Road from about 2003, and yeah, this is not bad. Weight of the Words, very good. All That I'm Allowed, I'm Thankful was a hit single and it's decent enough. And Answer to the Sky is pretty good. I do like that album. And this one here is pretty rubbish. It's Elton John versus PNAU, whoever that is. I think it's the Australian outfit. And basically this is a mashup album and I don't like it at all. I paid very little money for it. This is a really good album, 1979 Live from Moscow, and this is Elton and Ray Cooper on that tour. Excellent live album. And then we have Regimental Sergeant Zippo, and this is the album that came out in Record Store Day a few years ago, and this was originally scheduled to be his first album, but it never came out. It doesn't sound like Elton John, it sounds more like the Bee Gees, to be honest with you, but still it's a decent enough album. And then we have Elton John, the album, a cheap Pickwick collection from the early 80s, and this has Lady Samantha on it, which is a great single. The Very Best of Elton John from about 1980, and the cover's damaged. And this actually has some edited versions, so Someone Saved My Life Tonight is cut in half basically, as is Tiny Dancer. But this is the first time I heard Tiny Dancer and Someone Saved My Life Tonight, but it's a decent enough album on KTEL. And this is a very good album from 1980, and it's Lady Samantha, and this takes in quite a few of the very early A-sides and B-sides. You get Rock and Roll Madonna, Whenever You're Ready, We'll Go Steady Again, Bad Side of the Moon, Jack Rabbit, Into the Old Man's Shoes, It's Me That You Need, Ho Ho Ho, Who'd Be a Turkey at Christmas, Skyline Pigeon, Screw You, Just Like Strange Rain, Grey Seal, the original version, The Honey Roll, Lady Samantha, and Friends. Very good album. And this one is a digital remix of his greatest hits, and this is from the mid 80s. And now we get on to Queen and their debut album, which is absolutely brilliant, with Keep Yourself Alive, Doing Alright, Great King Rat, My Fairy King, Seven Seas of Riot, even though it's only a little bit of a snippet, and Liar. Very, very good album. Queen 2, another great album with Father to Son, White Queen, Someday One Day, Ogre Battle, which I love, the Fairy Fellers Masterstroke, which is great, The March of the Black Queen, and the full version of Seven Seas of Rye. Fantastic album. Sheer Heart Attack, many fans' favourite, and yeah, I like it, but I think side 1 is far better than side 2, although my favourite 2 tracks are in side 2, both of the In the Lap of the Gods, which I love both of them. Brighton Rock's Great Killer Queen, Lily of the Valley, Now I'm Here, very good album. And Night at the Opera from 1975 with Bohemian Rhapsody and You're My Best Friend, and this includes my favourite Brian May song of all time, 39, the acoustic number, absolutely love it. It was also the B-side of You're My Best Friend. Death on Two Legs is brilliant, going into lazy on a Sunday afternoon, and Love of My Life, absolutely brilliant album. And nearly as good is A Day at the Races with Somebody to Love. Tiger Mother Down is a good song, but as a poor single, I thought You and I should have been the single. It was actually the B-side of Tiger Mother Down. Long Away is great, The Millionaire Waltz is incredible, Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, You Take My Breath Away, brilliant album. And News of the World with We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. But for me, the best song off this is My Melancholy Blues. I absolutely love it. It's magnificent. It's the last song on the album. It's Late is another brilliant track. Really good album. Jazz with Don't Stop Me Now, Fat Bottom Girls and Bicycle Race. Jealousy's beautiful ballad. Mustafa is a great opener, and Leaving Home Ain't Easy. It's a very, very good album. Dead on Time is one of Brian May's best. Live Killers, haven't played this in absolute eternity, and it's okay. I never liked the version of 39 on this, funny enough, nor did I like Don't Stop Me Now, but it's got the fast version of We Will Rock You, which is good. The Game, very good songs, but I don't think it's a very cohesive album. Play the Game, Another One Bites the Dust, Crazy Little Thing Called Love and Save Me were all the singles, but the two Roger Taylor ones for me are the best, Rocket, Prime Jive and Coming Soon, but it's a decent enough album. Flash Gordon, it's a soundtrack and it's alright. Flash's theme and the hero, and then there's a lot of incidental music. It's okay. Queen's Greatest Hits, now this is a double reissue and it's absolutely brilliant, and it's been in the charts over 1,000 weeks, so that tells the story. Hot Space, now if you know my channel you know I love this album. I think it's so good. Starts off with Staying Power, love it. Dancer, brilliant. Back Chat, really good music. Body Language, I always thought it should have been a Freddie Mercury single, but I still do like it, and Action This Day. Side 2 is more like your normal Queen with Put Out the Fire, Life Is Real, Calling All Girls would have been top 10 if it had been released here. Las Palabras de Amor, fantastic. Cool Cat, and then Under Pressure. Absolutely brilliant album, and it's my favourite Queen album of the 80s. Followed by this one, The Works with Radio Gaga, I Want to Break Free, but I do prefer the single version of that because there's an extra little bit instrumentation added. This one's missing it for some reason. Tear It Up's good, It's a Hard Life, great. Man in the Prowl's like a Jerry Lee Lewis type rocker. Hammer to Fall, very strong album. Kind of Magic is pretty good as well, and I used to hate this, love it now. Give Me the Prize, absolutely love, and the title track's good, and I actually do like Pain That's So Close to Pleasure. I used to hate that track, but I played it recently and really enjoyed it, I was singing along to it. The Miracle, not a bad album, it's not the best. Party and Khashoggi Ship is very good, and the singles are good off this. The Miracle, I Want It All is my least favourite. The Invisible Man's good. Breakthrough, excellent. Scandal is good. It is a good album, but not my favourite. And this is my least favourite Queen album, I'm sorry, but it's Innuendo. I do like I Can't Live With You and Ride the Wild Wind, as well as the title track, but the rest I'm not keen on. I think Headlong's dreadful. I'm Going Slightly Mad, it shouldn't have been a single, it's a decent LP track. These Are the Days of Our Lives, yes I know, it's very poignant to hear it this time in Freddie's health, but I've never liked it, and the rest of it is okay, it's nothing fantastic. Queen's Greatest Hits 2, and yeah, this is good, but there was no room for Las Palabras de Amor, which I think is a shame. It got onto that odd Greatest Hits 3 type comp. This is Made in Heaven, and this is better than a lot of people think. It's a Beautiful Day is good, and their version of Made in Heaven is very good as well. Let Me Live, I think it's great. I Was Born to Love You is a good version. Heaven for Everyone was the big hit single. I prefer this to Innuendo. I think they're better songs overall. Roger Taylor, Fun in Space, excellent album with no violins, Future Management. Let's Get Crazy is fantastic, and My Country 1 and 2, the best track off it. Roger Taylor again, A Strange Frontier, and this is the one with the title track obviously, and Man on Fire, which I think would have sat really well on The Works. This came out the same year as The Works, but I need to listen to this more, I don't know it as well. And this Roger Taylor one is Outsider, it's a recent one, and it's not bad. Tides is a good song, but it's a bit forgettable. The Cross and Shove It, and this is the one that actually has Heaven for Everyone on it, which went on to be a Queen single. This is awful, to be honest, it's terrible. Freddie Mercury, Mr. Bad Guy, and this is like Hot Space Part 2, I love this as well. So you do get Made in Heavens on this, as well as I Was Born to Love You, absolutely brilliant. Let's Turn It On, it is fantastic. Mr. Bad Guy's great song, really love this album. And then we have Never Boring, and this is like a best of Freddie Mercury, and it is very good. The cover of it is shocking. That would have been a much better front cover. Brian May, Back to the Light, and yeah, not a bad album. This is the one with Driven by You on it, the big hit single, and I think there was a couple of other singles. Resurrection with Cozy Powell was a single, and of course Too Much Love Will Kill You. which I think is probably better than the Queen version. And now we get on to ELO, or ELO related, and we'll start off with Idle Race, Jeff Lynne's band. And yeah, this is very good. It's the debut album with a Skeleton around about, Morning Sunshine, and On With The Show. Decent album, as is Idle Race. I think this is 1969, and this is the one with Come With Me, Girl in the Window. Again, very good. Sounds a lot like The Move around their first album. And then we get the Electric Light Orchestra, The Light Shines On, and this is a compilation of mostly the first album with a bit of the second album. And then The Light Shines On Volume 2, which is a compilation of mostly the second album with a bit of the first album. And then we get the first album, which is a good album, and it's the Roy Wood songs off this that let this down a little bit. But this is the one with 10538 Overture, Queen of the Hours, Nelly Takes Her Bow. It's decent. ELO 2 is a better album, and this is the one with Roll Over Beethoven, and Mama Kuwama is probably the best track off this, and From the Sun to the World I think is a very, very good track as well. Very proggy, that album. And then this album here I think is really good. It's On the Third Day, especially side 1, whenever you get things like Bluebird Is Dead going into Oh No Not Susan and New World Rising. Really, really good album. And the single was Mama Belle. Very, very good. And then we have this version, which is the American cover, but it's the UK reissue from the late 70s, and yeah, very, very good as well. It's the same album. And then we have the big hit in America, El Dorado, with Can't Get It Out of My Head, Boy Blue, Poor Boy the Greenwood. I think it's fantastic. Nobody's Child's Good, Mr. Kingdom, El Dorado itself, and the very catchy allusions in G major. Very strong album. Face the Music, terrible cover with Fire on High, Evil Woman, Night Rider, Strange Magic. Good album. This is The Night the Light Went On in Long Beach. Live album with a very good version of Day Tripper on this and Showdown. A New World Record with the big hit singles Telephone Line, Rocaria and Living Thing. Tightrope, brilliant opener. ELO's best album for me is Out of the Blue, and side 3 of this is just unbelievable. With Standing in the Rain, Big Wheels, Summer and Lightning and Mr. Blue Sky. But you get things like Sweet Talking Woman, Across the Border, Jungle, Stepping Out, Wild West Hero, Sweet as the Night. Absolutely magnificent album. ELO's greatest hits, and yeah, this just came out before Wild West Hero, so it's not included, but it's basically their greatest hits up to Sweet Talking Woman. Discovery, yeah, a good album, a little bit like The Game in a way for me. This Discovery, loads of singles, but it's not that cohesive of an album. But I do love Shine a Little Love and Confusion, Last Train to London, and what's the other one? I do like On the Run. I've never been that keen on Don't Bring Me Down though, but it's not bad. It's a good album. Xanadu, and yeah, the ELO songs on this are actually quite good. Don't Walk Away is the best. Xanadu itself with Olivia is great, as is I'm Alive. But even Olivia's songs, I do like Magic and Suddenly with Cliff Richard. It's a decent enough album. I hear it's a dreadful film, I've never seen it though. Time, their second best album, released in '81. Yours Truly, 2095, Twilight, Take It to the Moon, The Way Life's Meant to Be is one of my favourite songs of theirs, full stop. Hold On Tight, 21st Century Man. Really, really good album. And then the disappointing Secret Messages with Rock and Roll is King, and the title track. I do like Strangers, very good song, but there's some stuff I just don't like off this, like Letter from Spain and Train of Gold, and I've never been that keen on Four Little Diamonds. However, Secret Messages was originally planned to be a double album, but the record company said no. It has now been released as double album without one song. I think it's called Beatles Are Forever, which I've heard, and it's not very good. In fact, it's rather embarrassing. But this really does improve the listening experience for the album, and you get extra tracks like Time After Time, After All, Hello My Friend, Mandalay. It just makes it a better album. So in the ELO ranking, that would be mid-table, whereas Secret Messages would be way down at the bottom. Balance of Power, very good album, gets slated a lot, but I love it. It's got Calling America on it, and So Serious, and they're absolutely brilliant. Without Someone. Jeff Lynne, Armchair Theatre, very good album with Every Little Thing. Lift Me Up was the second single, but other tracks like Save Me Now is very good. Don't Let Go is great. Now You're Gone, Don't Say Goodbye is a good album. The Electric Light Orchestra Live, and yeah, this is pretty good, and this is from around 2012 or so, and yeah, it's just got a lot of the hits live, and it sounds good. Alone in the Universe, Jeff Lynne's ELO, and this is okay, but it's a bit samey. It's a bit Travelling Wilburys like. When I Was a Boy is the best track off it. It's an easy listen, but I just think it's rather uninspired. And then you get Jeff Lynne's ELO, Wembley or Bust, and this is quite a successful album, and I think it's dreadful because there's a gap between every single song, so it just doesn't flow very well at all, and it's a triple disc, so not one of my favourites. And then Jeff Lynne's ELO, From Out of Nowhere, and this is similar to that previous album. Time of Our Life is a great song, but yet again it's decent, but it's rather uninspired. 2 more to go, and Jeff Lynne 1968 to 73, and I got this in the early 90s, and this is where I first heard all those Idle Race songs, and this is a very good album. And there is a Roy Wood version of this, and I think the colour of it is purple, but still good album. And lastly, Electric Light Orchestra Part 2, and Jeff Lynne had absolutely nothing to do with this. It starts off well with Hello Hello and Honest Men, and then it just falls apart. Not very good. Okay, so that's my Elton John, Queen and ELO video. The next one will be Mike Oldfield, Pink Floyd and Genesis. Okay, until then, all the best now. Bye bye.